Alright guys, I have so many monster reviews to do that I'm kinda just going down the list. So, this is my monster review on Empress Luthien. Her lore. Luthien was walking around the royal gardens when she stumbled upon destiny in the shape of an astronite stone. It was wrapped in a piece of paper with a message saying she'd been chosen to lead the fight against the abominations in Petra. Her time to step up and embrace her destiny has come. Alright, pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if it warrants her being rebooted and all that, and now King Darien does not look like he's as good as her whatsoever, but it's whatever. Look at her. She's got those Batman like sharp things on her wrist. So, her trait is one of the worst ever. Sadly. So first she's got dark protection to herself. Now let me reiterate, dark protection was great on King Autumn because he was an earth monster, so he was taking less damage against it. He did it to all allies, and it was as a status caster. It wasn't like a waste of a trait. But for this, like, imagine no umbrella trait, no nothing, you're just taking half damage from a dark monster, and this is a beginner review, so chances are you don't get her much higher than rank 1. And even above at rank 1, there's nothing. Gains immunity to tortures? No. Oh my god. I wish. I just did a review of Draco, and I was too used to saying that. Gives immunity to nightmares to all enemies. Now, let me reiterate that maybe soon nightmares will be a threat, but nightmares is like one of the weakest dots in the game right now. Just takes like 5% of health, 10% of stamina, which that is good when you pair it with other dots, but it is nothing on its own. So being immune to dark and nightmares, I mean, she would have been great to fight Lord Nabotis, but when she's not, she's quite useless. Trait-wise. And then, status caster area immune to possession. Gives immunity to possession and corruption. At least this is good. And it's funny because Lord Nabotas actually had the same thing, but in trait form. Now, status caster area immune to possession would have been decent just because at least you're immune to something, rather than like, I don't even know what other useless trait she could have here instead. But it's not just immune to possession, but also corruption, which often the go around immune to possession is that it doesn't also have immune to corruption, and then you just corrupt them, so this is pretty great. But it'll get cleansed away in 3 turns, and in her skill set, she does not reapply it. I'll just tell you now, maybe you don't want to go in the fastest, or maybe you do, but this is my rune setup for her. Trait-wise, no, relic-wise, she's your basic OP support relics, but she's not OP. But I'll get into that in a bit. So I'll give you a med kit, right? Just healing by that little amount is almost the same as healing by nothing, but it's whatever. Mr. Beast banner at the start of the battle increases all your stamina, and then when your turn starts, if any ally's stamina is below 25%, gives 39 points, has 3 uses. Banners are still so great. And then you'd basically just do another stamina relic with staff. I don't have it right now, so I'm just doing this. Or you'd do like healing, right? Yeah, you'd want healing. And for this, I don't know, maybe a denial relic. I'll explain why. Like maybe the comet would be good with her. Actually, yeah, I think it would. Alright. So let's work our way up. Always shining. Deals low light damage to one enemy, applies sunburn to one enemy. 18 stamina, 0 cooldown. Now I will say, there's something inside a spammable sunburn. Because sunburn takes down dark monsters super quickly, so maybe you run this for that? It's your choice. Crowns of Ritz. I don't know if that's a real word, but applies random protection to one ally. So random protection, I think that could even be evasion. You know, this could be dark protection, pyrophobic shield. This is 0 turn 0 cooldown. So if you had a Megaton monster, like I'll show what you could do with this later, or you know, right now. Okay, so let's say you had Empress Luthien, and her other moves are kind of lackluster, so you're just using her as a support monster, right, for your Megaton monster. And luckily I already have a permanent Megaton monster. So look, you could just Crown's Wit, cooldown immunity, recharge, Crown's Wit, dodge area, Crown's Wit, damage protection, dodge area, cooldown deactivation. Look, AoE did nothing because she gave him damage protection. So yeah, that's what I see you doing with that. Now I can go over her move in battle. Removes positive effects from one enemy, then all enemies, and applies Sunburn. On a 2-turn cooldown, 36 stamina, this is pretty good, right? Because, like, 36 stamina is honestly, like, a slightly above average stamina cost, but it's a great stamina cost, because 40 is too much, 20 is very little. So it's a middle ground, you know? Personally, though, I just use this all the time just to apply a dot. Like, I never even have to cleanse. And then Crown's Writ. Oh, I feel like spamming it. That's so fun. And then she has a cleanse, then evasion to all. This, man, is amazing. I love doing it because then you can use her in the same sense that I used to use Gahizol, where you just go first, evasion, then if they don't have Pierce, which these days, everyone and their grandma has Pierce, but you know what I'm trying to say. If they don't have Pierce, you have evasion, you're set. On a 2-turn cooldown, 44 stamina, that's about what I expect from it. A bit hefty, but look at how little it is, because she has a banner, so she has more stamina at her disposal. Now for fun, I'm just going to spam Crown's Writ. Boom. Whatever, give you shield. Crown's Wit. Damage protection plus dodge area again. Protect trait, that's pretty great. That rhymed. Anyways, just wanted to show that off real quick because I didn't want to forget, and I felt like that'd be a good thing to add into the video. Let's see, where are you? Gems and Koi Boy. Alright, so that does bring me nicely into her other moves. Oh, do I not have this? Enlightened Sword? Oh, it was because I had this. Okay. Well, now, after that display, I feel like running Crown's Writ. But I do need the single. So yeah, this is really fun, honestly. I suggest you play around with it. Random anything is always fun. It's always RNG, though, so it's not the best. Royal Soul. Removes all negative effects from one enemy. Applies random protection to one ally on a 1-turn cooldown, 20 stamina. So it's not spammable. It takes a little bit, but you cleanse beforehand. So you know what? I suggest you run this. I feel like I never... what I thought it was random protection, like random half damage against any element. But no, this is actually pretty good. So let me see if I end up running it on one of my moves. Loyalty risk. Ooh, that's quite the weird thing. If you're loyal, is there any risk? Risk of what? Applies sunburn to one enemy. Applies a 3-turn death countdown to one enemy. Requires cooldown. Alright. So powerful dot plus cursed countdown. Now, the thing is, every team has a support monster. Every team is going to cleanse away that countdown beforehand. But let's say in PvP, you're facing, and this is a team I face a lot, Silex, Tubercon, and What's a monster that can cleanse? An Empress Luthien, alright? You kill the Empress Luthien first, and the other two can't get rid of your cursed countdown. So you give them cursed countdown, and then you start protecting your Megaton monster like I just showed you, and boom, you're kind of set. This is 1 turn cooldown, 28 stamina. I already went over Royal Splatter mid-battle. And then this one, okay, I like this one kind of as an attack against light enemies. Royalty Speech removes positive status effects from all enemies, so it cleanses beforehand, then moderate light AoE. This would be so amazing on an attacker, but that's not what she is. Do not run her as one. And applies 3 turn to get death countdown on all enemies. So you basically get rid of evasion. Like if you're in a mirror match, you get rid of that evasion to all enemies. You do a little bit of damage. You can kick in a talent against them, but their talents can kick in against you. It's the trade-off. And you applied 3 turn to a death countdown. Now, like a lot of PvP turns for teams for beginners, they don't have a cleansing monster because they feel like they don't need it. She will destroy those by giving herself evasion while she gives them cursed countdown. So 34 stamina, 2 turn cooldown. That's like the most decent stuff ever, honestly though. After you give them the countdown, you're not reapplying it. So light them up. It's basically the Ricky and Ryclops cleanse, the Chiao Long cleanse, you know, the Pure Pandolf cleanse. Cleanse to one, then all. There's a Megataunt monster, he has evasion, and all his allies have evasion. Boom, all of that's gone. All they have to show for that is Sunburn. And 2 turn cooldown, 28 stamina. 36. Alright. Now I'm really worried I'm not recording, but I'm gonna keep on going. Enlightened Sword deals moderate light damage to one enemy. Alright, so I like the damage. You know, some monsters never do damage, so that I'm glad that she leans into it a little bit. Applies a 3 turn to death countdown to one enemy, so let's say you do this one, then you do this one because there's a dodge area monster, because literally, it's not even like, oh, you might fight dodge area. The monsters with the best moves that at that point don't even need dodge area have dodge area. So this is kind of a necessity to have a single. And then applies evasion to itself. So you know what? With 2 evasion moves plus all of these random protection moves, you could actually give them cursed countdown and see if you could use like your protection moves so that only you alone needed to outlive them. Sorry. But yeah, honestly, I'm kind of stuck on this monster, because it's not like she's good, you know? Really, I can't even tell you that, because her trait is so bad that she's only as good as her moves and relics are, and, you know, the cursed countdown doesn't always work, but even as a monster who has an AoE evasion with cleanse, and a lot of positive effect removal with a great dot, I think that's good enough. Personally, some people don't think she's that great. I really like her. And she's free to play, so I suggest if you're free to play, you get her. You know, maybe you don't even plan to use her as a death countdown, even though you will not get too many monsters after this era who have death countdown. Because it had been a while since we'd seen death countdown until they released like a talent that said, oh, what was it? Immune to death countdown. We were like, that's useless. Then we got Ravenbot and her, and there was a third example. And let me go over to finisher. Per 2 turn to death countdown to all enemies and heavy light damage. That's about what you expect. Only notable thing is that it's 2 turn cooldown instead of 3, so they'll die sooner. Like, look, this thing is a 2 turn cooldown. If they just use this, then you just use their finisher, they're dead. They can't cleanse fast enough. But yeah, overall, I think she's a pretty good support monster. She'll open up the enemies for your attacker. She'll protect your team for your allies, you should definitely run one of those protection moves for that, like, as you saw what I did to Pango in my example, protecting him. And yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, support me in this brutal algorithm. I'm trying to get back in it, but it is not going to be easy. Leave a comment and I will respond. I want to hear your thoughts on her. Is she great? Is she bad? Is the death countdown unusable? And without that, is she still a good monster? And subscribe to join the Crab Army. We are at 104 subscribers, a huge milestone. Sorry that I had to leave the second I hit 100 subscribers. It was real coincidental and I did not enjoy it. But I'm back now because I'm never going to give you up and I'm never going to let you down. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. And that's about it. Your favorite Omni-Crab